Welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
So today we're digging into just one source, a news article we received about a pretty big move by Blackpink's Rosé.
That's right. It's all about her withdrawing from the Korean Music Copyright Association, KOMCA.
Yeah, and our goal, our mission for this deep dive is really just to unpack what this specific article tells us. Why does it call her move groundbreaking?
Mm-hmm.
What reasons does it actually give? And, what does it suggest about the wider Korean music industry, but only based on what's in this report?
Exactly. It's a focused look at the business side, artist compensation, straight from this one source.
Okay, let's get into it then. The main event, the core news the article reports, is Rosé leaving KMCA.
Yes, that's the headline event.
But the article doesn't just state it, it frames it quite heavily, right?
Oh, absolutely. The piece we're looking at calls it a groundbreaking move, even a huge step.
Huge step.
And what really makes it stand out, according to this reporting, is the detail that she is apparently the first Korean artist to do this in, well, about 2 decades.
Wow, 20 years. The first. That detail, just that detail alone in the article, it really tells you how unusual this is.
Definitely underscores the significance.
And the article gives a reason, a
Yeah.
specific reason for this decision.
It does. It points squarely at the issue of low royalty earnings for artists in South Korea. That's presented as the main driver for Rosé's move.
Low royalties. Okay,
Yeah.
does the article, put a number on that? How low are we talking?
Yeah, it gets specific. It cites KOMCA's own records, their reports apparently,
Right.
saying that the original creators, so singers, composers, producers, songwriters,
The actual music makers.
right, they receive only 10.5% of the total streaming revenue.
Just 10.5%? Wow.
Mm.
That feels really low on its own. Does the article give any context for that number?
It does, and this is quite critical to the article's point. It makes direct comparisons. It highlights that this 10.5% in South Korea is actually among the lowest rates reported when you look at other big music markets.
Right, so it sets up a comparison. What are the numbers the article uses?
So the article mentions the U.S. rate for creators is 12.3%.
Okay, bit higher.
Then the United Kingdom, it says, is 16%.
16.
And Germany at 15%.
So, compared to the UK and Germany, that 10.5% is significantly less. Even the U.S. is, nearly 2 points higher?
Exactly. And that comparison, that stark difference, is really used in the article to hammer home the point about how much less South Korean creators are reportedly getting from streaming.
Really underlines the issue the article is focusing on.
Precisely.
Okay, so low royalties backed up by these international figures from the article. But the piece also calls Rosé's move strategic and extremely beneficial. How? How could leaving the association be beneficial, according to this source?
Well, this ties into how the article describes the whole system of intermediaries.
Intermediaries, right?
It explains that usually K-pop artists collect their earnings through, well, several layers of these intermediaries.
Mm-hmm.
And the article states that the Copyright Association, KOMCA itself, takes the first cut of the earnings.
Ah, okay. So it's not just the final percentage, it's also this chain. Like who gets paid first and how much is left by the time it reaches the creator.
That's the picture the article paints. It suggests that after everyone takes their piece along the way, what's left for the original creators is, well, a smaller slice.
Right.
So by leaving KOMCA, the article reports, Rosé is now, and this is a quote, free to directly connect with any and all agencies and intermediaries on her terms.
On her terms. That phrase really jumps out. It suggests, more control for her potentially.
That seems to be the implication in the report.
And the article mentioned a financial upside, too.
It did. It basically concludes that because of this move, the total amount Rosé earns from her music will definitely grow as well. So the article positions it as her creating a more direct route to her earnings, maybe bypassing or renegotiating some of those traditional steps.
Interesting. So let's zoom out a bit. How does this article use this one specific action by this one artist to talk about bigger things?
Well, that's what's quite interesting. The article uses Rosé's decision, as reported, to highlight what it calls problems that still prevail in the Korean entertainment industry.
Problems like?
Specifically, it connects her move to these ongoing issues around artists getting their rightful royalties, as it puts it, and the whole role of these intermediaries in the payment chain.
So this single career choice is being used in the piece as a lens almost to look at a wider systemic issue within the industry.
Exactly that. The source material we're looking at frames her move as revolutionary precisely because it's seen as tackling these established problems head on, problems impacting how much creators earn and how much control they have.
Right. Okay, let's quickly recap the key takeaways we've pulled just from this article then. We saw Blackpink's Rosé withdrawing from KOMCA. The article calls it groundbreaking, reportedly the first such move by a Korean artist in 2 decades.
And the reason given in the article is the low royalty rate for creators in South Korea, specifically citing that 10.5% figure for streaming revenue.
Right, which the article contrasts with higher rates reported in the US, UK, and Germany.
Then there's the strategic angle. The article calls it beneficial because it lets her bypass intermediaries who take a first cut.
Allowing her to connect directly on her terms, which the article suggests will likely increase her total earnings.
And finally, the big picture point. The article uses this move to spotlight these broader, prevailing problems in the Korean industry regarding creator pay and intermediaries. It calls her action revolutionary for addressing this.
Okay, and it's important to stress this is all based on the information and framing within this specific news article we analyzed.
Absolutely, just from this one source.
So here's maybe a final thought to leave you with, based only on what this article presented. If Rosé is indeed the first Korean artist to make this move in 20 years, as the article reports, and if this action is being framed as highlighting these prevailing problems, what might that suggest about the kinds of challenges many other creators in that industry could be facing silently with royalties and intermediaries? And, well, could one high-profile move like this potentially influence others? Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought just based on this report.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the source material.